I've been sewing consistently for 8 months, so let's go through what I've made in that time. I'm gonna be honest. It's 9:30 at night and I did just pound a coffee because going back to proper employment has basically annihilated me. I am so tired all of the time. I have not sewn in 2 weeks. I really miss it. However, this is only temporary. Eventually, my tired ass old body is gonna get used to actually having to go out and do things and not just watch small children all day. And I'll have energy again after work. But right now I'm in the adjustment period where I get home and I just want to crash on the couch and watch Supernatural. Luckily I haven't watched that show in years and I think I stopped watching it at like season 11, maybe 12. So like, I have a lot of content to keep me occupied when my body is way too exhausted and sore to do squat. So that's a plus. But I also have big plans for things I want to make. So this phase needs to hurry up and go away. Now, actually sewing may not be on the cards this week, but I did think it would be a good point, since I've been doing YouTube and sewing consistently for 8 months, to go through all of the things that I've made. There are a couple of pieces that are not on this rack, and honestly, I don't know where they are. I have a dress that I'm about to fill out a missing poster for because I don't know where it went. Granted, I also haven't worn it in months, but now that I know that it's not in my wardrobe, I really want to wear it, so I don't know if it somehow made its way into a donation bag or not, but a little bit sad. I should probably break this up into categories, so we're gonna do that. I started filming and someone is a little bit of an attention seeker. You want to say hello? Say hello to the tube. Say hello, Willoughby. The other cat is also hiding over at my rack. But we're not gonna grab him because as much as he loves cuddles with mum, no. Category 1, tops. We'll start with the basics. You know, the simple and not so interesting, but still really handy. Arthur chose this exact moment to start drinking. I have 3 t-shirts here, all pretty much exactly the same. These are a self-drafted t-shirt pattern that I created using the t-shirt that I'm wearing. Let me just unzip end. It is just a crop, fairly high neck, short sleeve t-shirt. I'm so sorry. I bought new toys for the dogs today. They have a little skeleton bat and a Frankenstein, and they've got squeakers. So if you hear squeaking in the background, I'm sorry. It's keeping them entertained. These are my preferred style. Being on the short and plus sized end of the body spectrum, I prefer cropped t-shirts and high-waisted things. I feel like they define my waistline a little bit more and just give me some shape, because without that definition, I sometimes end up looking a little bit like a beach ball, which, you know, if that's your prerogative, have at it. So cropped t-shirts and high-waisted things. It's usually what you'll catch me in, especially for a low effort day. This one was just a normal spandexy cotton jersey from Spotlight. It's very cute. To be honest, I don't really wear it that much. I think it's the color. I don't know, something about it. When I found this fabric, again, just cotton jersey from Spotty, something about it screamed Mediterranean to me, and while I am not a bask in sunshine on the beach kind of girl, it looked fun and I enjoyed it. However, this fabric was probably one of the worst fabrics I've ever sewn with. My machine kept trying to eat it. So that was a fun endeavor that I do not wish to repeat. And then we have, this is not the correct shirt. That was just a Kmart t-shirt. I don't know. The color is similar, okay? It confused me. The other one must be in the wash, but it was a similar color to that one, okay? Pretty much the exact same as this. Now I can't really talk about it because I can't show you. Okay, I wear the other version of this a lot. Like a lot. And I have matching PJ pants that are also in the wash that I also can't show you. However, if you do want to see those ones, I will link the video that I made them so that you can go and watch it, because I don't have time to wait for them to wash, let's be real. I don't, so t-shirts. In terms of sewing those, let me just zip this back up because my stomach is getting cold because I had to turn the heater off to film this. Oh my god, why is this zipper fighting me? Sewing those t-shirts was pretty easy. It's a basic construction, shoulder seams, side seams, set your sleeves in, do your neck binding, and hem everything. There's not a lot of steps to it. It's not really complicated. You don't even have to finish the edges on them. I do that because I prefer the way it looks. But you could legitimately just sew your seams and be done. It's a knit fabric. It's not gonna fray. Nobody's really looking at the inside of your garments except you, so if you don't want to finish stuff, don't bother. I feel like come summer, they will get a lot more wear. However, at the moment in Australia, it's winter and I don't like being cold, which is hilarious because if I get too hot, I also don't like that. Basically, I'm gonna complain about the weather no matter where it's at. Those t-shirts, they might see the light of day more come summer. Next, we have the long sleeve version, which doesn't want to pick up because this light is super bright and this fabric is so pale yellow. Same pattern, self-drafted. The only thing I did differently is I elongated the sleeves so that it would be a long sleeve pajama top. I made the top portion a little bit longer so it wasn't quite so cropped. And I used a lettuce hem to finish my sleeves and my hem of my top. This one is super cute. I actually really enjoy wearing this one. And the best thing is I can get away with wearing it as just an everyday top, not just a PJ top, which is what I initially made it for. So versatility, big thumbs up. But again, it was the same pattern as the t-shirt, so we've already been through that. However, like this fabric, can I get it to... I wonder if I can fix this in post because it is so pale, it is pretty much glowing. It is a gorgeous pontel. So you can kind of see it a bit better there. It's so pretty. I want to get it in a pink and I think they have a green and a blue version. So I do want to get more of this fabric because it was lovely to sew with and I really enjoy wearing it. It's so soft. This one I used an actual pattern for. And the first one I sewed, this one, I didn't look at the instructions at all, like at all. And I did regret it at the end of it when the sleeve elastic turned out to be way too tight, which, you know, causes some issues because it doesn't really sit how I wanted it to sit. However, it is still very cute and it's comfy, very, very comfy. We do like it. This version, however, I did look at the instructions. I did follow the instructions and the sleeve elastic turned out too loose, which is not the pattern's fault. Like, it is the design. It is meant to be gathered with the elastic, but not actually fitted to your arm, from my understanding. Personally though, when I push my sleeves up to wash my hands or do something in the kitchen, I like it to actually stay where I've put it. This does not, because it is too loose, which it's not the biggest deal. Like, it's fine. It's just irritating. But I love this top. This fabric, which is so pretty. 10 out of 10. Actually, no. 8 out of 10. We're going to take 2 off for the fact that the sleeves don't stay when I push them up. Next up in the lineup of tops is the Bumblebee muslin shirt that I self-drafted from a Pinterest image that I saw that was super adorable and I kind of wanted one, but I couldn't find a pattern I liked. And honestly, it didn't look that difficult. So I kind of winged it. Like, I gave it my best shot and it worked. And it's made out of this beautiful lightweight muslin fabric with gorgeous bumblebees on it. I did not interface anything because I wanted it to be very drapey and soft. I was very happy with how this turned out. It is so comfortable to wear. Very sheer. I do need to wear a tank top underneath it because otherwise you can see straight through to my very unflattering nursing bra that I haven't nursed in a year. And what do you want from me? It's comfy. You will pry this nursing bra off my cold dead body because I like comfort. I'm too old to care. about aesthetics over comfort. It's comfort over aesthetics at this point, as you can clearly see by my current outfit. I like to look cute, but I also want to be comfy. To be fair, I haven't actually worn this that much, but again, it's winter. It's cold. Maybe in spring and summer. Next on the lineup, the Hickory Ensemble by Mood Patterns. This one's a free pattern. You know, I find them a little bit hit and miss. Like, this one turned out pretty good. To be fair, I made this as a test run for loungewear, just out of fabric that I already had. I bought it on sale, it was super cheap. I've discovered I'm not the biggest fan of waffle knit, only because sitting in it, if it's on my bare skin, the indentations and the texture of the fabric, it kind of feels like something scratching at my brain and I don't like it. However, the top is very cute. Kind of gives me, it makes me think of Neapolitan ice cream. You know the ice cream that comes with the 3 flavors, the chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry, and it's all lined up? It makes me think of that. So, you know, there's a nice little hit of nostalgia. This one I wear a lot. So this is that same yellow Pontel fabric that the long sleeve t-shirt was made out of. With this one, I did not have enough fabric to do a full length version of the top, and I ended up cropping it, which I prefer. I like the crop length. Also because I didn't actually use ribbing, and I changed the size of the cuff because the cuff on this one is huge. Again, it comes back to that if I push my sleeves up, I want them to stay where I've put them, not have them just fall straight back down. So I reduced the cuff on this one to the smallest size cuff. Worked out pretty well. It did mean that I had so much fabric that there was no way I could ease it into the cuff. So I did end up putting pleats into it, and that worked fantastic, as well as added a really cute little design element when I wear the top. It actually turned out so good, and I think that if I made it again, I would do the exact same thing because I actually love that pleated detail. It's on the top and the bottom just to get the fabric in it, and I don't know, something about it just looks so cute when I have the top on. Category 2 would be pants. Let's start with the ones that I am currently wearing. So we've got the Sienna trousers by NH Patterns, and to be fair, this is probably the comfiest thing I've ever made. I love these pants. Well, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, I'm gonna grab these pants. I've actually made the pattern 4 times already, and I plan to make them again. That's how much I love the pattern. So, you know, if you're looking for a pants pattern, just an elastic waist one with like insane pockets, this one's my favorite. It is so easy to sew, made even easier by the fact that NH Patterns has an entire sew along for these pants, so you can go through and sew it step by step while you watch the video. And trust me, that makes things so much easier. I am a visual learner, so reading sewing patterns has me feeling like I want to bang my head against a wall. I dislike it immensely. I tend to not read the instructions that much. I look for patterns that have video sew-alongs because that's the way I find it easiest. I like to be able to see what they're doing as well as read it because it makes it so much easier to understand. And let's be real, sometimes sewing patterns are written in a way that makes you feel like you're reading another language entirely. Why? Why make it so hard? To be honest, these are the most tame version I have of these pants. I made these ones here that are made from cotton poplin and are a beautiful pale blue with a galah print on them, which I think is so stinking cute. This is one of those fabrics that as soon as I saw it, I had to have it. I actually grew up with a pet galah. He was not our bird initially. He belonged to the mother of my mum's best friend. And when she passed away, none of her kids could take him. So our family took Charlie, and honestly, he was a beautiful bird. He had a real cheeky personality. Like, he would go up to the edge of his aviary, put his head down with the cheekiest glint in his eye, and say, "Polly, want a cracker?" and then bite you if you tried to scratch him. Yeah, you had to pay attention to that bird's body language because most people were getting bit. The only people he did not bite were me and my mum, and that's because both of us could read his body language. Even at 6 years old, I knew when he was planning to bite and when he actually genuinely wanted to scratch. so I never got bit. It's a skill. I still have that skill. I'm very good at animal body language. And then again, I have a pair of shorts. I hacked the pattern, did not bother with the pockets because I wanted to do a split seam with a tie detail on these ones. Going through a bit of a phase about 8 months ago where I was just buying ridiculously bright colored fabric, especially ones that made me think of the 80s. Not gonna lie, I still love a good 80s print. Oh, I do have a top that matches that somewhere, but So let's get on to the ones that I'm really proud of. Once again, this was a mood pattern. These were the first ones that I made, and they were a pain in my backside. I used a brown denim that I got on sale at Spotlight for pretty cheap, so I had plenty of fabric to work with, but I should have read the reviews of the pattern because I had issues with these, and I was not the only one to have issues with these, so this was not on me. The rise of these, when graded up into the larger sizes, did not actually equate to a high rise, which they were supposed to be. So they ended up being much more mid-rise on me, which is a problem because if you watch the video for these ones, you know that ain't nobody gonna pry my granny undies off me until I'm dead. It is that serious. So I just didn't wear underwear under these ones. It was fine. I refused to buy uncomfortable underwear for one pair of pants. But on top of the rise issues, the waistband piece did not fit. I had to piece it. So I cut it exactly as they said for this size, and I had to piece it. And we're not talking just a little bit. We're talking, I had to piece in about 6 inches. That's how small it was. So whoever graded this pattern did not do the best job, and it was very frustrating. I also ended up having to put darts in the back. So this one was a wild ride. However, I was insanely proud of them because I had never made jeans before, and it was an experience. And to be honest, I actually wear these quite a bit. If I'm wearing a jumper over them, I just wear my regular underwear with them because it's not like anybody's going to see them anyway. If I'm wearing something without a jumper, I forego underwear because it ain't that deep. Never hurt anyone to go commando. I did end up remaking that pattern though out of this gingham stretch drill, which I didn't realize was stretch until I was sewing with it, and it was, again, a pain in my backside. I did have issues, but they turned out pretty damn cute. I fixed the rise on these, probably a little bit too much. They do sit just a smidge high now. May have overcorrected just a little bit, but in terms of the fit issues that I was having with the original pair, I did actually fix the majority of them with these ones, and they're very, very comfy. Being a stretch fabric, these are so comfortable to wear. I can sit down in them. They don't cause me any issues. There's no cutting in. There's no worrying about my underwear showing. It's all gravy, baby. Nightmare to sew. Very comfy to wear. So I'm not mad about it. Will I make this pattern again? Oh God, did I even mention what pattern it was? It was Mood Fabrics, the Calamint jeans. I would recommend the pattern if you're a beginner sewing jeans to try it out and you don't want to spend money on a pattern. Definitely worth trying. However, I will tell you, make a mock-up. Get a bed sheet that you don't care about. Doesn't have to be fancy. Check the rise and any adjustments that you might need to make to pattern pieces. They were very easy to sew, surprisingly. However, you do need to check that the finished product is going to fit you before you use the good fabric. I learned that the hard way. Make a mock-up. Next category, skirts and dresses. Let's start with this one. I think I have a love affair going on with this fabric because it makes me so happy. I swear it floods my brain with dopamine. This skirt I made because I kept seeing something similar pop up on Pinterest, and I really wanted one. But it was one of those ones that I was like, is it actually a really pretty skirt, or is it just that the model is ridiculously thin? And she looked fantastic. But is the style gonna look good on someone like me? I do think I nailed it in that the overall look of this garment and the silhouette of it does actually match what I was trying to create. Personally though, I have worn this, but only once. I wore it out to the city to go to the Vivienne Westwood, and oh God, I cannot remember the name of the other designer. I do have a video on it. It's linked. I did wear it to that, and it was very comfy to wear all day. It's not the cleanest installation of an invisible zipper, and the color of the zipper does not match the fabric at all because I just used what I had. And, you know, it was what it was. The skirt portion as well, so the yoke turned out really good. The skirt, I would have preferred if it was cut more similar to a circle skirt. I've realized I'm not the biggest fan of gathered skirts that are just rectangles gathered down. I do find that it just makes me feel really boxy. It's not my preferred look. So that was an interesting thing to discover about myself. I am proud of the fact that I did actually make this with no pattern, no drafting experience. Like, I just kind of looked at it and went, I think I can figure that out. And I went for it, and it did turn out pretty damn good. I am sad that I don't get to wear it. I am actually thinking that I will recycle the fabric of this skirt because I know that it's not something I'm likely to wear, but I haven't made up my mind yet. I'm on the fence. Let me know what you think I should do. Let's talk about this ensemble here. This was my attempt at going a little bit cottagecore. Have I worn it? No. Do I love it? Yes. This, comfy as hell. It's literally just 2 rectangles with some sleeves added and elastic. I might wear it as a nightie in summer. Who knows? I think the color of it throws me with the dress though. Like, I have a feeling I would be better off going either black in a linen or maybe like an off-white. That might make it feel more authentic to what I actually was trying to do. It does go very nicely together because there is the green in the corset and it's cute. I don't have any reason to wear it. I should have gone to Ren Fair. It would have been perfect. The stays that I made, absolutely stunning. Are they perfect? No, not at all. Well, they're far from it. The top layer is made out of a linen dead stock that I got off Fabric Box. It's so pretty. It's just got these beautiful bright pops of floral. They make me happy to look at. And this was a really fun experience to get under my belt with sewing. It taught me things. I learned new techniques. I learned how to cut and insert boning. I learned how structure was made. It was a very fun project to do. I did kind of feel a little bit like MacGyver using zip ties to bone a pair of stays. And that was a fun experiment. I am overall very proud of these. So this particular pattern, I think it's called the Camille Slip Dress. I don't like it. And I don't think that is a reflection on the pattern designer. I think that is just my personal preference. I also think it's a little bit of pattern designers that aren't exactly necessarily designing for larger bodies, which is fine. I'm not entitled to them to design for me and my body type. However, if you're going to offer larger sizes, I think you should grade them in a way that actually accounts for the way larger bodies are. For example, this particular dress has no darts. None at all. This squishes my chest, which is not a look I want to have. Like, I'm wanting to highlight my shape, not pretend it doesn't exist, and flatten everything out so that I just look like a surfboard. I kind of look like I'm in a fun house when I'm wearing this because of the way that it distorts my body. It is very cute. The fabric is adorable. And to be honest, if it just had darts to account for a larger bust, it would have been an absolute win because I did feel very cute when I layered it and wore it out. This I wore to a restaurant up in Brunswick for my birthday, belated birthday, but I did. I enjoyed wearing it. It just, the whole squishing my boobs down was not for me, so it hasn't been worn since. The second version I made, I adjusted it so it would have darts in it to account for my bust, which did help. It doesn't squish me down as much. My fabric choices with this one were not the greatest. I used a purple paisley rayon fabric for the top layer and just a purple homespun cotton for the lining, and the different weights of the fabrics don't really mesh that well together. So it's not perfect, but I made this to attend a funeral. So, you know, it served its purpose. I wore something that was appropriate and it hasn't been worn since. What do you want from me? Like, sometimes we experiment with patterns and they just don't turn out the way we dreamed they would. That's the reality of sewing. But at least we learn things along the way. We get points for that, right? And then we have my Inspired by Molly Goddard dress. I love her. She's so fun to wear. I don't have a lot of fancy events to attend though. I could maybe I should get myself some fishnets stockings and boots and really grunge it up. That could be cute. I might have to try that. Again, this is one that I took a base pattern from Mood. I cannot for the life of me remember which pattern it was, but if I do find the name of it, I will insert it text here, because I wanted a princess theme bodice. And then all I did was play around with that and make a couple of mock-ups until I was happy with the main bodice portion. And then it was just side panels gathered down in that curve shape over my hip and adding the ruffles. And it took me entirely too long to make all of these ruffles. I think I'm still traumatized from it. However, she's fun to twirl in. She's real fun to twirl in. I quite like her. I do think if I was to make this again though, I would make it as potentially a skirt rather than a dress, because the skirt portion of this is so much fun. I don't know if I'm as keen on the bodice. I did change the bodice from the original inspiration because I wanted to be able to wear a proper bra under it, but I think it actually ended up detracting from the initial look of the dress rather than doing what I wanted it to do. So I have a feeling I might try and make the bottom portion as a skirt and then maybe do just like a cute little crop elastic peasant blouse style top to go with it. I think that could be really cute, especially done in linen. I think that would be gorgeous for summer. So, you know, that might be on the cards. Alright, so the last piece we have is this one, which you have never seen before because I did film it, but I have not edited that video yet and I don't know if I ever will, so sorry. This is the Heather Blazer by Friday Pattern Company. A pattern that, this is not the first time I've made it. I have actually made it 3 other times and I did love it. I don't think I love this one. There's nothing wrong with this one. It is gorgeous. The green with the floral lining is adorable and I love the look of it. Sadly, I just think that as much as I've loved this pattern in the past, where my body is right now, I don't love the look of it on me. I used to wear, I had a corduroy version of this in a mustard yellow with mushroom print. Absolutely gorgeous. That was my favorite jacket. I did donate that to my neighbors because they love quirky things, same as me. I made that one before I got pregnant with my son. My body has changed a lot. When I used to wear that one, I'd wear it with skinny jeans, tiny little crop top underneath it, and that with the sleeves rolled up, and I felt really cool when I wore it. This one I made for the job interview for the job that I got. It did work. It was very cute. It looked very professional. I was the most overdressed person there. So it did the job that I needed it to do, but it just doesn't make me feel good. So I am looking for a new home for this one because I want it to get the life that it deserves, and it's not going to be with me. Blazers are not for me at the moment, and that's fine. Other plus size people might love that boxy blazer look. I feel like me being so short, I didn't like it at all. I didn't feel like me. So, oh God, that was a bummer of a note to end this on. Jesus. I do also think my fabric choices played a bit of a role here. As I said, I've made this 3 times before this one. All of them were corduroy, which is a little bit more substantial. This is just a plain cotton with a rayon lining. It's not very structured fabric, so that could be contributing to the issues I'm having with it. I also didn't have enough interfacing to interface all of the places that were supposed to be interfaced, and that was poor planning on my part. So not the fault of the pattern. But again, I just don't think it's for me and where my body is currently at. So, you know, you win and you lose some. But I will find a good home for this one. She will get loved because she's very cute. And that is what I have accomplished in 8 months of sewing consistently while doing YouTube. It has been a fun time. And as I said, there are some pieces that have disappeared into the void of my wardrobe. If you were around for the closet clean out video, that didn't last long. It's our storage space, unfortunately. When you have 3 kids in a small house, places like that don't stay clean for very long, so they're probably in the void somewhere. looking at all of this, it does make me feel good. I have done so well with consistently sewing over the course of this year, and I am so happy with what I'm learning. One, about sewing, but also about myself and what I enjoy wearing and what I enjoy making and the things that give me that massive rush of dopamine that I so desperately crave at all times. It's a learning process and I'm rolling with it. I also, over the course of this whole endeavor, have had so many ideas about things that I want to make. And I am so excited to get stuck into them. There are going to be some fun times. We have a lot of like big projects coming up. There are some that require new skill sets that I've never done before and I'm really keen to learn and see if I can get them right. And then there are others that have like really intricate things that I'm gonna have to do and figure out, and my brain is already exploding in the process of trying to figure it out, because there is one project that I've been trying to work out the logistics of actually sewing it together for like the last 2 weeks, and every time I think about it my brain wants to self-combust. So I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and actually just get stuck into that one, so I'm forced to troubleshoot it. I have all the materials now, so that might be the next one. But that is to say, sewing is a journey. Am I perfect? No. Am I proud of myself? Abso-fucking-lutely. I did this. I made all of that. And that's pretty cool. If you want to see what's coming up, hit the subscribe button. There will be more. I can't guarantee when. Look, I'm aiming for 2 weeks. It could be 3. I might need to give myself a bit of extra time. Because as I said, work is kicking my butt. It is nice to be getting out of the house again. So I actually have to talk to people at least 3 times a week. So I'll get back into the swing of things hopefully this month. But if there's an extra week between uploads, I'm sorry in advance. On that note, I'll see you hopefully in 2 weeks. Bye bye now.